Hi, this is Bill Leverty, and I wanted to show you how I turn a standard B3 organ sample into a classic hard rock B3. I use Waves GTR plugin for this and Waves reverb. The B3 is a stereo sample. I wanted to maintain that stereo spread, the stereo image, and GTR does this so well. Rather than putting it through a mono distortion or a stereo distortion emulator, GTR maintains the stereo spread better than anything I've heard. Also, the distortion that it gives is a very pleasant sounding distortion, and it sounds very much like a vintage amplifier. Just to give you an idea of what this piece is the B3 in this idea comes out and does a solo, and then it goes back into the background only to juice up the guitars. It's not there to really be heard, but if it's not there, you'd miss it, that kind of thing. But in the solo section, I did want it to come out. So this is the piece, just the little loop. Here it is. It's pretty dry. There's some 3-dimension to this organ sample, and so I added reverb to it, and that sounds like this. And for that reverb, I used a long dark hall, and I took out all the early reflection. So that's the sound I got there. And then here's the backing track of what you'll hear that's going along with this, so you can get an idea what this idea sounds like. Okay, so with the existing organ, or B3, this is what this sounds like. And keep in mind, I would have the organ down a bit, so except for the solo. So the organ basically just spills over a little bit after the guitar, which is bone dry, cuts off, and it provides a little bit like a reverb effect without being reverb. You know, it's a different sound, and that's what I was going for this. So I wanted to make the organ sound like my favorite classic hard rock organ sound, which was John Lord of Deep Purple. So I used GTR, and here's GTR, here's the plugin. I went to, you've got a ton of different presets here that they've got for you that are all amazing. I went and went through this menu, and I went through to Neil Citron's Plexi model, and this amp just sounds great to me. I turned the master, instead of having it off, which you don't want because you won't hear it at all, I put it on 0. And by putting it on 0, it comes through with this gain up a little bit. I put these volumes at 2. They default at 5 or 12 o'clock. I turned back the presence just a little bit. I turned back the treble a little bit. I have the mid-range at 0, and I cranked up a little bit of bass. The default cabinets for this were a 212 closed back. They sounded great to me. And the default mics were the 409 off-axis, which I thought was a real smooth sound for this. So to hear what it does, I want to toggle back and forth with the bypass so that you can hear the organ regular and the organ gnarly. So here it goes. And with a little bit of the reverb on there, here's what you get. And I love the sound of that. That just knocked me out. Here it is in context with the track. It'll live about down here when it's going with the guitars. When the solo piece comes up, it'll be right up here around 0. So I'll show you what that sounds like. So that's it. That's GTR. It turns a good sounding organ, in my opinion, to a fantastic sounding organ. Thanks for watching this video.